The Seoul Dynasty looked like they had it, but the NYXL were able to bring it all the way back and take the victory 3-2. Another 5-mapper for the ages. And guys, that was one for the history books in my opinion, for sure. Just doesn't get much better than that, man. Those teams, they left their heart and soul on the stage. All right, next up, we have the Philadelphia Fusion going up against the Shanghai Dragons. Now, for the Fusion, they started off this stage as one of the hottest teams, but since then, they've come across some tough opponents, and they're gonna be looking to regain their momentum. As for the Shanghai Dragons, they're gonna be looking for their first W. Will tonight be the night? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. It is our final match of the evening.
We're back. It's the last match of the night, as Malik just said, and it's going to be a good one. We talked to the teams. They're excited about the games. I'm excited as well. It's Puck It back with Sideshow. We got Crumbs, Zoe with us once again as well. Zoe, got to get your thoughts. We just saw a big one. Seoul, New York.
Yeah, I think this game went exactly the way everyone wanted it to go. I'm so grateful for this high level of Overwatch we just saw on this stage. Can't get any better than that, but I said that before, and then this just happened. So yeah, let's see.
It's pretty amazing. When you watch these top squads, you never know what you're going to get. Today's matchup that you're about to see, though, is going to be a little bit more one-sided. You got Philly in the middle of the pack. You've got Shanghai in the bottom of the pack. And as you take a look at the schedule, they're going to be looking to close things out the same way Boston was able to handle the Dallas Fuel. But Shanghai, they're retooled. They're going to try and cause some issues for the Fusion. Are you guys ready to get into this?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to get into this. Let's take a look at our final match of the day. It's the Fusion taking on the Dragons.
And the Philadelphia Fusion, they've seen the cheese, now they're bringing the steak. So far, so good for Shanghai. Carpe dashing across the point. Nice footwork. Actually, the twinkle toes effect works out. Oh, dear. Meanwhile, the rest of his team jumping in from behind.
So here we go, Fusion versus the Dragons. Now, both teams have had a struggle recently. Philly has now lost 3 in a row, but this is a good opportunity to get some momentum because you're going up against a Dragon squad that knows they need to make changes. Their players aren't over here yet. They're making some internal moves with the squad that they have right now. So let's talk about this for Philadelphia. When you look at the Dragons, what do you need to be aware of, and what should you be doing with your own gameplay?
Well, in this opportunity, not only can they gain momentum that they lost by playing the top teams in the league, but they can also afford to use some time to experiment a little bit. A lot of teams take some of the weaker opponents and just try to field in different players, try new strategies, and it's not a bad thing for the Philadelphia Fusion. They have experimented before, and we know that when they put EQO in and had a Carpe with him, things improved, and they started changing things around, same with Poco and Hot Bus, so this is going to be an improving match for Philly.
And I know last week was tough for Philly, but it was especially tough for the Dragons. They were without Dia. While I was gone, Dia was gone. What was going on with the star player from Shanghai?
Yeah, Dia had a family emergency and had to head back to China to sort it out. And yeah, that meant that they unfortunately had to have someone else filling his role. Sushu stepped in, and honestly, when I talked to them, they were pretty satisfied with his performance, given that only just last week he even picked up projectile heroes, so he's not really been playing that role at all before that. And given all of that, I still felt like we saw some good performances. Now, looking at the matches today, they might have some changes to do.
Is Dia back in the lineup now for the Dragon squad? Do you have your star DPS player?
No, he's not, and that's where that's why I just mentioned the changes. The coaches have been telling me that because Dia is not back and because it still didn't quite work out the way they wanted during their scrims leading up to today, they've been changing some things up, trying some other DPS swaps out. So maybe we see someone else in that role today. Maybe.
Listen, Zoe, I know that you're supposed to be the insider, but you've never been a woodsman deep in enemy territory.
How would you know?
I've been living for one night.
One whole night?
One whole night in a treehouse in the Philly Fusion place. I can give you all the deep inside information. They've been up scrimming late last night. They've been awake
there it is.
Kind
Their
of
house.
late this morning. That's my new house right there.
And for those of you guys who don't know, Sideshow has been living in a treehouse this week. And as we take a look at the weather forecast, thanks to you losing a bet to me, you are going to enjoy some nice 49-degree rain, as well as a little bit more coming on Friday.
Listen, I'm not worried about rain. I've got the Philly Fusion guys, they've hooked me up. They know what the plan is. I'm utterly sorted, and so are they going into this match.
You're British.
you got
Rain
space.
is your element.
Rain is my element. I'm like a duck.
And gray. Like, this is perfect.
Sideshow
It is.
may be a little bit biased in this series, and I know he's going to be cheering on our first team to the stage. Are you guys ready to meet our teams? Let's hear for our first squad. Please give it up for the Philadelphia Fusion. They've got a treehouse, they have a sweet mansion, and they've got a brand new player today. Snillo sprinting his way to the main stage. This isn't our first time seeing him on this stage, though. He was part of the 1-2-3 squad that played back at Contenders. I'm so pumped to see him now on a pro squad in the Overwatch League.
And I'm really curious to see how he's going to interact with EQO. Typically, we have seen Carpe be in the lineup as a staple, and now he has been given some much-needed rest. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with this dynamic. Every time they sub one player in and out, it seems like the team changes radically.
And of course, you're going to see him on the Tracer and the Soldier 76 most likely. So what else do we know about this Fusion squad?
Well, when I talked to them, they all said that they're very much prepared for Shanghai. They did their homework and did study the recent games they saw. Shanghai played a lot of triple tank comps last week, mostly Winston, D.Va, Roadhog, which is a comp the Fusion actually experimented a lot with in between stage 1 and 2, or at least that's what their coach said. We haven't really seen it ourselves. So they know it well, and the fact that the Dragons played out of necessity, as they're lacking the second DPS player, means that the Fusion don't really expect them to be very flexible on those maps.
Whereas when we look at the Philadelphia Fusion with Eco and Snilla, they should be incredibly flexible. Both of these guys can play the Tracer, as we saw in their previous game. EQO flexed over to the Tracer, Carpe was playing McCree. This is a team that at the moment can play a huge range of styles, and it's just starting to diversify and spread out their playstyle.
Two 18-year-olds at the helm in the DPS role. A lot of pressure for the new Fusion players. Let's take a look at their opponents, though, as we welcome to the stage the Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai still getting love in this venue, and it brings a smile to my face every single time. They're still looking for that first win. They're 0-6 in stage 2. But today, you're playing up against Snilla. Will nerves get the best of him? You've got Sushu with a little bit more time in that DPS role. Can they get it going today?
That is a very good question. I mean, they're getting those map wins every now and then. However, when I talked to the team, they said those map wins don't mean much to them. They're looking for a match victory, and their confidence has been corroded. The players are really struggling, so the management now has actually brought in a psychologist who will work through these issues with the individual players.
And typically that sounds awful. Why would you need to bring a psychologist? But a sports psychologist is a staple of any sports organization, esports as well. The mental games are a huge part of playing, as well as keeping yourself up to date and be able to handle all the pressure of playing on stage, whether you win or lose. So this is a much needed move, and I highly recommend any other team to do the exact same thing, because you're going to need it at some point.
Sideshow, we talked about it on Watchpoint. These guys, of course, have new players coming in. Who is going to try and defend their role? Who are you looking at today?
In particular, I'm going to be taking a look at Roshan, who is going to be competing against his spot with Fearless, the new Korean tank they've brought in. So guys like him, along with Five King and Freefield, need to try and hold on to their spots. Big individual plays at the order of the day.
All right, we're looking forward to this matchup. I have to ask you each, what are you most excited about, looking forward to in these 4 games, starting with you, Sideshow?
I want to see how Philadelphia Fusion try and crack the triple tank. So we probably know that there's going to be a lot of tanks coming out from Shanghai. Do they decide to play a bit passive and take them down one at a time, or do they just go deep and focus the supports?
What about you, Crumbs?
I want to see the diverse champion or hero pool that Philly's going to bring out. That's it. More heroes, more Symmetra.
So we get us started. What we got?
Snello, I can't wait to see how this young kid is fitting into the team.
The young Swede is here for his first time on the main stage. Let's see how he handles the Dragon as we send it backstage. It's Monty and Doe with the final call of the night.
Thank you, Chris Puckett. Here we go, guys. Our last match of the day here on day 1 of week 4 of the Overwatch League Stage 2. Joe Monte Cristo here. It's going to be Philadelphia Fusion taking on the Shanghai Dragons, and Snillo is in play. It's going to be fun.
I'm actually really excited. So
Yeah.
Snillo just turned 18, made his way over to the U.S. to play as part of Philadelphia. In Contenders, we saw him playing Tracer on a team called 1-2-3, replacing Mistakes from the Boston Uprising after Mistakes was signed to the Owl roster. So he came in a little bit later in terms of that Owl signing, but he did a great job playing for his team and showed us some impressive Tracer mechanics. So it'll be interesting to see how he's been integrating into this roster. And of course, it's hard for him to take that top slot when Carpe is on the Fusion, but what he does do is he allows the Philadelphia Fusion to have a complete second team to scrim against internally, as well as back him up in case anything has happened. Also a very young player, so hopefully has a long Overwatch career ahead of him.
Hey, well, coming in with his very first match here today against the Shanghai Dragons. And the Shanghai Dragons, I gotta say, despite losing Dia, arguably their best player to that family emergency in China, they put in Shusha now. And this guy has actually kind of made the team play more triple tank, which has made the team stick together, which has actually eliminated a lot of the issues of like Roshan going too far ahead, being out of sync with the supports not being able to keep him heal. I think, honestly, weirdly enough, since their best player left, this team has looked better.
Well, they definitely did adapt better in between maps last week, and they were mostly playing triple tank, as you said, but the outstanding player for me was MG on the Roadhog, and you see him, he's going to be the one playing the Tracer while Dia is absent. So very interesting look so far. They're back to a 2 tank, 2 DPS, 2 support composition, and they're not running Moira, which the Dragons have run Moira significantly more than any other team in this league.
Yep, opting to go with the Ana Zenyatta this time though. And Philadelphia Fusion on the attack. This team, this week, the matches they have against Shanghai and Dallas, very, very big matches. If they can get high scoring 2-0s this week, that can put them in a great spot to make a run at the playoffs.
Absolutely, especially since their hardest matches are behind them. They just finished up a 3-match streak against London, Seoul, and New York. So
tough one for sure.
Yeah, definitely hard to play those 3 teams back to back to back.
Well, Roshan is dead first. And Philadelphia with a numbers advantage as they head towards the point. Free field zoned out, taken out. And already the trouble's starting to mount for Shanghai Dragons on this defense. Snillo backing up, looking for another victim here. May chase after MG. No, he's gonna back away. Just let that one go. Why not? MG on the Tracer this time, which is a bit interesting to see. But Philadelphia Fusion not phased at all, and they will take a smooth point A.
And they don't change their strategy. They want to keep running the Tracer Widowmaker, which has served them well, slotting Snillo into the lineup where Carpe would normally play the Tracer instead, but still, fundamentally, his teammates are going to be playing the same way.
Sure enough. On to point B, go Philadelphia Fusion. EQO looking for some of those early shots. Now we've got Undead over on the McCree this time to try to shut down some of that. Ooh, big chunk taken out of free field. EQO on the retreat for the moment. Gotta look out for that self-destruct. Looks like he's far enough around the corner that it's okay. Roshan getting a little bit low here. MG taking a headshot as well. Now EQO, the dive onto him. He's gonna have to back away. He's got the healing from Neptuno though. Pop that Valkyrie, and that's Roshan taken out. Still no percentage yet taken.
Fraggy going to die at the same time, though. Neptuno trying to get him healed up with that Valkyrie. Deadeye now coming down from Undead. Everybody forced to hide.
Oh, nice D-Mac onto Shusha at the end there. A D.Va out of the suit, that's going to be a problem. Roshan diving in. EQO has played this one so safe. Shanghai going to go ahead and use the Transcendence, which should be the cue for Philadelphia to back off for a moment. They do lose Poco's mech, though.
They can't actually keep Poco's mech up with the Transcendence because he had been hit by the Biotic Grenade, and now MG starting to carve up the Philly supports.
Yeah, that's right. Neptuno down, and Philadelphia's attack looks like it's going to be stopped right here. Gotta back it up a bit.
Neptuno now making a switch over to the Lucio, and EQO wants to play the Genji. So we'll be moving to full dive. Philly oftentimes moves to dive for Volskaya B, and after that first pressure with the Widowmaker was going to fail. Makes sense, they're gonna change it up, so I have plenty of time to get a few Dragon Blades on this attack.
Boombox trying to keep Snow alive here. There, got the Orb of Harmony onto him. Taking that high ground, now he's gonna jump down. Show a little bit low. And Snillo looking for that Pulse Bomb. Oh, no stick, it goes wide. He airballs it. Roshan takes down Neptuno in the meantime, and they lose Fraggy as well. So Shanghai with the man advantage for the moment and the respawn advantage, but that's still going to be a tick taken by Philadelphia.
Biotic grenades from 5 King causing a lot of problems for the Philadelphia Fusion when it looks there you
from
go.
downtown!
Right as I say that, didn't cast a cursive this time, just set him up to look great.
He's on fire.
Yeah, 5 King.
It's got to be 3 points at least.
Yeah, definitely at least 3 points. But 5 King, he's been hitting a lot of these biotic grenades as Philly engages, and that's hurting their tanks or forcing their DPS to leave the fight. So Philly can't really get a foothold as long as 5 King is preventing the healing coming into the frontliners.
True enough. He's dueling it out with Snello, and EQO comes in to disrupt the duel. Undead push back during Deadeye. Oh, he gets EQO anyway. Oh no, and now Poco as well. Undead going crazy here on the McCree, but another tick taken by Philadelphia throughout all of that. It seems like despite losing members, they're still managing to find time on the point when Shanghai can't defend. Goodbye, Snillo. Undead has had a great fight, but arguably that was a good push for Philadelphia.
And they're getting it piece by piece.
Hey, that works, you know?
Tick by tick, still 3 minutes and 40 seconds for Shanghai Dragons to defend 1 tick. 5 King opening up the Deadeye for Undead by using a sleep dart onto Poco, and then the Deadeye managing to go through after that.
Yep. EQ already low here as the push begins for Philadelphia. He's got his Dragon Blade though. If he can get into the back lines, might be able to do a bit of damage.
And a boost onto Roshan now, but he's sniped out of midair by Boombox.
Yeah, that's right. Boombox cutting him down. And now the time. Dragon Blade zoning the supports out and killing him. And Philadelphia just takes the point. They had the sound barrier there too. So that was 3 attacks in a row where Shanghai just kind of gave up a tick each time. It was a bit interesting how that all came together.
Yeah, they still held on fairly well given the amount of time that Philadelphia had in the bank. Coming in, Roshan got low before they even got the nano boost onto him, so the damage reduction on that few HP he had remaining wasn't enough to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And that was Philadelphia's opportunity to go in, bully the Dragons off the point for the last 33% that they needed to complete the map.
That's right. So now Shanghai on the attack. We'll see if they can equalize here. It's, like I believe you mentioned, 3:09 on the clock for Philadelphia Fusion.
It's actually surprisingly even when it comes to kills for both teams. Shanghai died only 1 more time than the Philadelphia Fusion. We spoke about how they looked like they felt more confident last week and they started to make some good adjustments on the fly. And even with MG playing the Tracer, that ended up being relatively close.
Well, it's like you mentioned on point B, it was really a battle of sort of sections, right? Where Philadelphia would come in, they wouldn't resoundingly win a team fight, but they would win it enough to push people off and take a tick, and did that enough times to eventually take the point. But aside from point A, there wasn't any, you know, big resounding one-sided team fight win for Fusion.
No, there wasn't, and curious if MG's going to go for the Roadhog again here. Looks like they probably will play the Tracer. And Undead, assuming that there's going to be a Sombra on this defense, but Philly played dive defense on their last map on Volskaya.
3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Shanghai Dragons on the attack. The Dragons have been unleashed, but they have what it takes to tie up Philly here.
I wonder if Undead will immediately switch to the Widowmaker if they don't see any Sombra.
He's been pretty comfortable on the McCree lately, so for now, sticking on it. At least for this first push, anyway. Oh, that's a good shot onto EQO.
He's still getting damage boosted even on this McCree. So many times they pocket Undead.
Has to grenade himself. That's bad. Would prefer to save that one. Now he walks out again. He's got some healing, I believe, from Boombox, but man, that's a lot of damage. Undead, if nothing else, is a pretty accurate McCree. Oh, except for that flashbang. Sorry, Undead.
The caster goes over. MG does find Fraggy. So.
That's right. All right, so good start for Shanghai. They got the tank out of the way. Goodbye, Winston. Pushing forward now. Boombox, Team Shusha, though. They do go ahead and use that self-destruct. Freefield gets Snillo, and there we go. Oh, he went for the fan the hammer. Wow. I'm surprised he probably could have been able to do it with the headshots, but
But he had a
back
double
away.
stun with the flashbang, but the kill's not really following up. That one with EQO closing the distance. Still 5 members of Shanghai on the point to 4 from the Philadelphia Fusion, trading 1 for 1. But it looks like Philly may have to back off. It's only their DPS.
Snilla, man, it's his first day in the league. He doesn't want to give this one up yet. Dragonblade comes in for EQO, and EQO doesn't want to give this one up yet either. 5 King down. The DPS of Philadelphia trying to turn this fight around. Last-ditch effort defense, and they've done it.
They have done it, held them to just the 2 ticks, thanks to EQO, with the Dragonblade taking out both of the Shanghai supports.
Wow, that was about as close as it comes to losing point A, but EQO and Snilla just saying, no way, guys. We got this. We can win the 2v5 or whatever it was.
Opportunity to for Neptuno to nano boost Fraggy now and try and disrupt the approach.
Yep. Undead, meanwhile, on approach of his own. Oh, but the sleep dart comes in, and he just gets run over.
Undead was entirely alone on that flank.
Yep. Meanwhile, 5 King gets blasted by Boombox as well. EQO with an easy slash onto Freefeel, and suddenly Shanghai with only 1:30 remaining on their attack, things looking a little bit tricky. But remember, they only need 1 tick, so they could still conceivably just kind of edge this one out.
Yeah, they can, although without the support ults, it may make things a bit trickier. They may come down to 1 6 ult push, though. They can take a little poke here, try and build up their support ults, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. So they're intentionally not engaging right now. They're going to send MG on a long flank by himself while they work for the rest of their support percentage.
Yep. All right, EQO very close to that Dragonblade again. Made good use of it last time. Snillo coming in the back, looking for the big play. There's the stick. Oh, the Deadeye. More like the dead McCree. And now Snillo, yeah, man, you get a nano boost for your efforts. Has to try to shoot through a Transcendence. That's not easy. And then he eats a flashbang. Oh, the res came in, and Undead got some revenge. But now EQO with some revenge comes in with the Dragonblade. 5 King and Freefield both down. Supports eliminated. And Shanghai can't really keep this push going.
No, they can't. They're going to try. Can they keep Roshan alive, though? If he falls, that could be problematic. He will in the end. So Shanghai scrambling now. They're going to wait a few more seconds to have Roshan up. Maybe they can get him here on an attack. Meanwhile, Neptuno, EQO, trying to make it back from the base to be here when Roshan arrives.
That's the goal, man. 10 seconds for Shanghai to get in there and touch the point, force overtime, and try to take it. They're coming in. Roshan a little bit on his own. He's getting low, taken down by Boombox. Once again, separated from his team. 5 King was there, but there's only so much you can do as a Lucy against that focused fire. Goodbye, Freefeel. And it looks like Philadelphia Fusion will not allow Shanghai near the point again. Map 1 goes to Philly.
Roshan jumps in, but he's not in line of sight of 4 of his teammates, so they cannot help him. An easy target picked off by Philadelphia in that front line.
And that just underlines why the triple tank was working so much better for Shanghai. You just don't get those situations that we saw in pretty much every other match Shanghai has played in the Overwatch League.
Yeah, I think last week MG showed his chops on the Roadhog, and it started working out for them, but you have to be aware that your opponents are studying you. You cannot be transparent.
Well, control map next. We'll see if the triple tank comes back. Don't go anywhere, guys.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
That is EQO, the man from Israel showing up to play for the Fusion.
Growing up in Israel was sometimes tough because as like a Colombian immigrant, like I didn't know much of the language. It was like tough for me to actually blend in.
EQO going ham. 2 kills for him with the Dragon Blade.
I've like always been obsessed with like video games. Like my dad passed away when I was 15 and I decided to quit school. I just closed myself and I just played video games because it was like my only, escape.
EQO making a statement, going to work.
So I started playing competitive Overwatch in Season 2. I never like planned to go pro, but I saw that other people that are worse than me like can also go pro, so I decided to give it a shot and I basically made Overwatch like my full time.
This guy, he is not new to the game whatsoever.
I stand out because on ladder I was really strong. Like I hit rank 1 multiple seasons. That got me noticed from like the coaching staff from Fusion. Like they knew I was a good player. They decided to give me a chance to try out and they saw I was better than the other trials, so they got me in.
Making sashimi out of 2 already, and a 3rd, and a 4th.
I always knew I was a good player, so coming to stage 2 I wasn't like scared of like underperforming. I want to like actually contribute to being, a good player and helping your team win. So it was like really, like I wouldn't say emotional, but like very, significant for me.
His very first match, his first time on the stage, and he handled this well.
My playstyle is like basically very smart, like positioning myself in a way where I can disrupt the enemy and I can always like dash back to my team. I consider myself a very calculated Genji player.
What a clever pickup for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Well, no doubt, EQO, a big addition to this Philadelphia Fusion squad, who's been really exciting to watch in Stage 2.
You can see he is leading the league in final blows for 10 minutes right now on Genji, and he's basically exactly the same age as Snello, both of them turning 18 in the middle of Overwatch League Season 1 and now available to play. So exciting times. And for those of you, of course, wondering why we're not seeing as much Shadowburn these days, EQO, I think, has proven to be a more versatile player in terms of the heroes that he can play at a high level. Shadowburn, of course, proficient on the Genji and the Pharah, but EQO has a deeper pool, and so I think has been their go-to player, at least for the time being.
Sure, and you got to look at these guys' play styles too. I mean, Shadowburn has always kind of been the lone wolf Genji, right? He's great at getting out there, causing a lot of disruptions on his own and getting the kills, but EQO is kind of stuck with the team a bit more, which as far as what this roster is focused on lately, it seems like that fits him a little bit better at the moment.
Yeah, from what we hear from the team too, it does seem that he is pretty active in terms of their shot calling as well. So I know they said as soon as EQO got there that he meshed with the team nearly instantly. A surprise considering that they had already been playing together for 5 weeks or so in Stage 1, but sometimes you get lucky and you can slot a player right in.
Nice when a plan comes together. Well, we are going to Lijiang Tower, Shanghai Dragons down a map to the Philadelphia Fusion. And I want to see them bring back the triple tank. Again, this is what I'm going to be saying all day, because they really did genuinely look like a better team when they weren't playing this 2-2-2, when they weren't trying to play more of the dive. And, we saw it not work out for them so well in Volskaya. I'd like to see them change it up again for Lijiang Tower. But
well, you're not going to see it on Garden because they always run Shusha on the Pharah on Garden.
I'll give them a pass on this round.
On this round.
This round, you need the Pharah. I'll give them a pass on this one.
And Philadelphia Fusion also looking to run a Pharah Tracer Undead, moving to the Tracer for this point to open up the Pharah pick and MG on the D.Va.
That's right. Back onto the flex tank role after playing the Tracer on Volskaya. Philadelphia approaching cautiously. And Shanghai looking to get a bit aggressive here. They've got MG down to about half health. Both tanks feeling a bit of pain right now on the Shanghai side.
And Neptuno gonna get the faster heal though, and Undead not gonna last long, so they engage right as they amp it up heal.
Oh, Poco just going crazy. Get a bunch of final blows right now, and Philadelphia Fusion gonna use those kills to get their control percent going first.
EQO still just gonna spam rockets into the doorway, slow up any approach to Shanghai Dragons. A little bit of a rocket jump over the top, healed right back up with the Orb of Harmony. And now Shanghai ready to try this again. Concussive Blast eaten by the D.Va.
Yep, that'll happen a lot of times. Neptuno nearly knocked off the bridge himself. Has to be careful there. Now the Farah battle. Shusha taken down by EQO. Got a bit too close. And EQO took him down. Kiss Roshan on his way out. And although Poco gets demeched, it's going to be a pretty easy defense. Wow, EQO going deep here. He wants to get MG as well. MG, no help, but Neptuno there. Most aggressive Lucio.
Oh, you could see in the picture-in-picture there, a little cheeky grin as they rush forward. Neptuno getting deep in to finish off the D.Va kill.
Oh, Boombox down, so Shanghai striking back early on this push. Box out of commission. They're going to come in with the Transcendence as well. Meanwhile, sound barrier for the Philadelphia side. Snillo battling it out on the bridge. Fraggy gets the pulse bomb though, and that's going to be a problem. The flip happens for Shanghai. They get some control percent going. And I don't know if Snillo on his own is going to be enough to change this one back. I think you need to back off a bit.
Yeah, they're going to back off. Poco didn't commit to using the self-destruct when he was on the point, so you can tell they're just saving their ultimates. Philadelphia saw them use both the Transcendence and the sound barrier, knowing that Boombox is going to respawn with a trance of his own. So give that one over. Try on the next attack to retake and drive it up to 99%. I think that's the smart call.
That's right. You would love to pop through a window or a doorway with that barrage. Maybe exactly what he's going to do. Philadelphia trying to flip it back. Here comes Afara. They've got the Transcendence. Going to try to deal with Roshan. Primal Rage. There's a barrage, but everybody leaves. Oh, man. It was a barrage party, but nobody came.
How sad.
On his own. Doesn't matter, though. The team having a party of their own on the other side, and that one's a bit more successful for the Fusion. And it looks like they're going to get this point back pretty quick.
Although sometimes, Noah, you're happier when nobody comes, because when you throw a barrage party and the D.Va comes, sometimes it shuts down the party real quick.
Like, D.Va, you weren't invited. Winston Shield, you weren't invited either. The party can end really quick sometimes.
Neptuno chucks himself off the map at the end, and now Shanghai coalescing for one more push here on the point, but Neptuno is going to find 5 King.
Oh, wow. Snillo gets undead as well.
Oh, that's a disaster.
QO with a knockoff onto Freefield, so already up to near 90% perfusion.
The stagger is brutal, too. Roshan can't get back to the spawn.
It's not looking good for Shanghai right now. They need to have a pretty incredible fight if they want to take this one back. Undead trying to sneak around the side. We can just kind of barely see. EQO fighting it out in midair though. But Shuja meanwhile overtime on the point. Right now there's the pulse bomb onto MG as he was DMX. Snillo finding an easy one there. Transcendence from the Shanghai side. And Snillo just fighting it out. They've got the sound barrier from Neptuno yet again. Coming around the back. Snillo getting creative here onto Freefield. Easy kill on the supports there. And that's going to be Philadelphia Fusion taking Gardens.
That was a great pincer from Snillo, realizing his tank line was not in threat of dying and therefore corralling the members in the back room so he can take out the Zenyatta, take out the Tracer to finish off the first point on Lijiang. Next point will be Control Center.
Yeah. I'm liking the moves that Snillo's making on the Tracer. And this is something we kind of saw him do in the past too, where his positioning is really, really good.
I'm curious what we're going to see from Shanghai. Looks like they are going to be going towards a triple tank setup. Last week they played so much triple tank with a hit scan, though they played Junkrat on for Undead on this point. That is not going to be the selection. However, Mr. Snillo will be on his second hero of the Overwatch League on a Junkrat himself.
Indeed, Fraggy back on the Reinhardt again. Always good to see him on his favorite hero.
Definitely his favorite hero.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging forever, the Fraggy camera. What a surprise.
That's right. No shock there. Oh, Snillo down, though. Undead. Finds an early kill for Shanghai, and already the Earth Shatter. He drops it, and he drops 2 members. Oh, bounce into the air, though, as he charges. No pins, but they do get free feel. Shanghai feeling it, though. Roshan down, and that's a coalescence. Very early. Poco all charged up. You're going to use the Graviton. I don't think you need it just yet. Nope.
So to put
that one.
To put Fraggy in perspective, Fraggy currently has 37% of his second ult. Roshan has 58% of his first ult.
I mean, that's what happens when you just walk in and hold left click and be like, heal me, guys.
That's exactly why we love Fraggy, Noah. Poco.
That's right.
With a Graviton Surge. MG only 70% of the way there. He's also nearly fully charged up. Dangerous scenario. He's looking for it. He's gonna go for it.
The total steam gone for. They're gonna drop the sound barrier in response. Shanghai members scattered by the concussion mine from Snillo. Here comes a Riptire. Fraggy off the edge, but Roshan falls as well.
No,
dead.
the triple.
He snuck up there and got it. I feel like we've seen that one before.
EQO.
You can't forget about that McCrean.
I think he got up to the high ground in the end, but it was just too late. Undead. He knows they're coming with the Graviton, and so he punishes that commitment. Beautiful.
It's the oldest trick in the book. You've seen it in your solo queue games. Well, here it is in the Overwatch League. MG drops the Graviton Surge. Earth Shatter comes through from Fraggy to try to keep the Shanghai Dragons back. They're not going to be able to do it. Both tanks dropping now for Philadelphia Fusion. Undead looking for the kill into Snillo. Freefield's going to grab that one. And Shanghai with pretty firm control over the point for the moment.
And pushing to the choke points now. Fraggy going to take out Shusha late though, so Philly can charge back into this one. Coalescence will be the entry point for the Fusion.
MG really, really low. Heals come in at just the last moment, but not enough. Fraggy gets Roshan as well. And there's Snillo from behind getting a bit of revenge on Undead. Freefield tries to fade away, but instead he's going to get burnt out by EQO on that one. And now it looks like Philadelphia Fusion have the point again, and they will be able to tie up the control percent. Shanghai bottled up in their own spawn.
And Big Bang combo available for Philly right now. Shanghai trying to move back in. They're going to use the Coalescence. No, not quite yet.
Yeah, not into the defensive matrix, ideally.
Not to the defensive matrix, so we're going to see
avoid that.
Coalescence coming out here, but not for the Graviton. They're going to catch him on the corner.
That's right. They tried to send in the Earth Shatter as well. Now Coalescence for Shanghai to keep people up. Earth Shatter comes through. I think he got Roshan with that one.
He did.
Meanwhile, Snillo down. Looks like, there we go, Fraggy just taking matters into his own hammer. And taking down Roshan as well. They've got Shanghai still pushed back a little bit more. Up to near 90% already. Philadelphia Fusion getting closer to the 2-0 on Lijiang Tower. Shanghai needs a big fight, and they need it now.
Trying to make their way back in. Graviton up. Graviton going to stick them into the side.
That's right. There's a double from Shusha. The bigger bang comes through for Shanghai. They needed a big team fight win it. They got it.
Coalescence from Boombox couldn't heal the members up. As Philadelphia Fusion got too close to a wall, MG has been preferring to throw his Graviton into the sides of the map or onto objects to avoid it. Getting defensive matrix by EQO. Undead is going to try and punish the... Oh! Very nice shooting.
No kidding. Headshots of Neptuno back to spawn again, and now Shanghai over 70%. They are getting pretty close to tying this up.
Another Graviton for Poco.
Fraggy. A little bit low, Deadeye comes through. Oh, but Snillo right there to take him down before he does any damage with it.
They have time to wait for Fraggy to respawn before they push forward. Snillo, some damage on the edge, will have his bomb available to him.
Yeah, that's right. Get aggressive. There we go.
That's two Gravitons! That's two Gravitons!
That's right, but that's not a pulse bomb coming through when Snillo needed it. In fact, he's going to blow himself up. Meanwhile, Shanghai still taking losses here. And it's going to be Philadelphia trying to flip this point back again, but we are at 99 to 99 right now. Pogo getting the kills on the Zarya. Looks like Philadelphia's going to grab it back. Can they grab the win here? They can. And it looks like Shanghai wasn't able to touch the point at 2-0 on Lijiang Tower for Philadelphia.
Very rarely have I seen two Gravitons, one on either side of a wall, but Boombox had the Coalescence up and ready to go to heal his team. Freefield did not, barely not getting up to the Moira ultimate, so massive healing coming on the cluster targets of Philadelphia.
Well, two quick maps and a 2-0 lead for Philadelphia Fusion. Halftime coming up. The dust breaks down those games, and then we see if Shanghai can make a comeback. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
You just gotta keep moving forward. Throughout our first two games, it's all Fusion and EQO leading the way with this Dragon Blade. Philly up 2-0 as we enter halftime. Welcome back, everybody, to the Blizzard Arena. It's Puckett. We've got Sideshow, we've got the Great Crumbs, and we've got two games to talk about here. Not the longest of games. The attack's not working out incredibly well for Shanghai. Philadelphia fielding a new player, though, today. So let's start there. What have we thought of Snillo after seeing him play games 1 and 2?
Well, he looks decent so far, right? He's doing good things with EQO, with the Tracer and the Genji. However, I think it's too early to tell specifically how it's going to affect the team, because when EQO came in, it was the communication and the hero pool that was really changing the dynamic of this squad. Now, well, we'll still need more of a sample size to figure out exactly what EQO brings, or rather, what Snillo brings to the table.
Yeah, and as you were saying, EQO brought a whole different style of Genji, a real calling style to the front line as well. We don't really know what Snillo brings in terms of the intangibles, but at the moment he's playing very similar heroes to Carpe, and it's going to be difficult to shift Carpe away from that role, to be honest, because the guy is just so phenomenal. So maybe they need to diversify his hero pool a little bit, or maybe they will against another opponent. This is only the first time.
I was going to say, we've seen only 2 games from him, and we know he's had a lot of time since Contenders to work on his individual play. So keep your eyes out for the new player, Snillo, who's in the lineup for the first time starting today. Let's take it now to the Shanghai Dragons, because Josh, you said, coming into halftime, I really want to talk about what the Dragons can actually do to win this series. What is it?
Yes, it's a little player called Hubris, right? Because when they came up against the Philadelphia Fusion in stage 1, What happened was Philadelphia Fusion went 2-0 at the half and then took their foot way off the gas pedal and almost got reverse swept. It went to a game 5, and Philadelphia Fusion were at full panic mode by the time it got to that final control. So if the Shanghai Dragons don't let themselves get mentally phased out and try and just keep up their A game, Philadelphia Fusion could just play themselves again, and we could end up at a map 5.
You're telling me that their win strategies banking on their opponents to lose?
Yes. Yes, I am. But that is genuinely what happened last time.
It's something that could happen, and it's good to look back and realize this is, I believe it's the only team that has gone to Game 5 against Shanghai Dragons. Fusion.
But I wouldn't say that time was complete hubris. I really think Shanghai just stepped up to the plate, and it was Philadelphia still finding their footing. It wasn't the Philly that we see now. It was a Philly that didn't have the preseason of practice. It was a different kind of Philadelphia that I think wasn't so much as hubris as opposed to still finding their footing.
So let's talk about the chance it goes to a Game 5. So far, as we take a look at our highlights from the first control, this one looked relatively close. In fact, Shanghai started off with the lead in our first heat. Philadelphia, of course, won both heats, but they're closer than a lot of people may have expected here. I've seen Undead popping off with McCree. What did you guys see in the 2 heats of control?
Well, once again, Fraggy charging his Reinhardt ultimate faster than seemingly any other human alive because he just gets pocket healed and keeps swinging away and gets those fat stacks with the Fire Strike. Now, we saw a nice play out of Undead, but other than that, all is normal. All is okay for Philadelphia.
Yes, Shanghai Dragons do look better when they play the triple tank. I was kind of confused why they didn't pull it out on Volskaya as well, because let's be honest, Shanghai Dragons have not had the most coordinated looks when they've been playing default compositions. They've relied on the tank play to keep them tight together. Well, so if you're going to play something like Volskaya and you've had success running the triple tank in the past, why not go back to that?
I think because the triple tank is not going to work against everybody. Triple tank is not going to be your win solution for the long run. So you just go back to the compositions that work for other teams to try to make sure that when you get your new players, you actually have a little bit more traction. You're more used to compositions. I imagine that these players have to be saying, hey guys, why are we not doing different compositions? Why are we not trying new things? As soon as you signed on, even though you might not play, you can still participate in the team over the internet and telling them, helping them out.
The power of the internet.
Exactly, the power of the internet. Where would we be if it wasn't for that?
I would be out of a job. Let's talk a little bit about the future here. If you're the Philadelphia Fusion, if you're a fan at home, what do you want to see in the second half?
I want to see more of the same, to be honest. I want to see Snillo as well really step up. I want to see like big performances out of him. See if in the future we could have a discussion about whether he should be fielded regularly over Carpe as well. And a combination of plays with him and EQO. I'd like to see this DPS duo and see what they can do, the 2 young guys on the field.
Crumbs, you're a very grounded person. You like to keep it real. What do you want to see from the Dragons in the second half?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me about Philadelphia. You really threw me out of a curveball.
Yep.
Yeah. What do I want to see out of them? I mean, obviously a victory, but that's not in the cards. So I just want to see them come up with more non-3 tank compositions, right? You just keep switching it up, keep trying more things, and more Zenyatta. The fact that they're finally playing Zenyatta is a great sign. Deviate from the Mora and bring back the hero that the top 2 teams are running 24/7. That seems like a good idea.
If you watch this meeting the first time in Stage 1, you'll know anything could still happen. We have at least 2 more games to go, but that's going to do it for our halftime coverage. Now, it's been a tough start for the Dragons. They're still looking to pick up that first win, but they've been playing better lately, and our crew was with them last week as they took down the Seoul Dynasty for our latest edition of Social Studies.
今天我们这一场的对手非常的强，但是我们还是要发挥出我们最高的实力去打败他们。
The winless Shanghai Dragons are about to go up against one of the toughest opponents they can possibly go up against in Stage 2, the Seoul Dynasty. Now, where it's unlikely that they will be walking off the stage as the victor, already just taking one single map off of them would be a massive moral victory.
Welcome to the stage, everyone, the Shanghai Dragons. And they are going to need to make some kind of adjustments. Obviously, this team, you know, in Struggle City, population Shanghai Dragons.
Oh, the hook denied those. Ito gets around the corner. Double kill for Shanghai. To the point. Yeah, Seoul just tried to deny Shanghai from getting there, and they do. That is a 2-0 for Seoul Dynasty here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, they couldn't get back to the point, even with those movement abilities. Too little time remaining.
听我说啊，我们那个波斯卡亚，你看 A 点进攻一波就破了，对吧？是不是很好？那说明什么？说明我们放狗没有3T 厉害。是。母鸡，母鸡呢？啊，我在后面。啊，我以为丢了，我以为你去还仇了。那个你就一个任务，我也不要求你保肉3，听到了吧？你混高能，你的盾就用来混能量。加油！加油！
Kings Row will be your next map. Will Shanghai find a way to answer back, or will Seoul roll on to a 4-0?
Nearly D-Mech though, so that could be a problem here. Never gets D-Mech instead. Shanghai with an opportunity. And that is the overtime expiring. Looks like Seoul's going to get full health.
I am impressed with what the Dragons did.
Me too.
On that defense. Full hold for them. And a completely different look when it comes to their communication with tactics.
Winning this map.
And Olusama wins to the undead. It's going to take out Toby. Running now down, altering.
It's all about Kuki, but there's only so much he can do. On that point, he can't do it in Shanghai. Kings Row.
And this is one of those options that you have if you know you only...
And they did it. The Shanghai Dragons managed to take a map off of the Seoul Dynasty, and they have to be happy and proud of this achievement.
And that will be the end of the series. Seoul Dynasty will take it 3-1 off a win on Route 66. Got a bit dicey there, but Seoul pulled it out. I wonder going forward if we're going to see more of this triple tank with more looks at Shusha. They certainly have time to develop it. It's a loss today, but probably the best that the Dragons have looked in a long time.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
The Philadelphia Fusion are out here flexing on the opposition as they are up 2-0 on the Shanghai Dragons. Now, we all know the Dragons are trying to get their first victory, but the Philadelphia Fusion, they're actually fighting to stay toward the middle, toward the top of the standings. So they need every map that they can possibly get in order to maintain their spot in the standings. Will they be able to pull off the Queen Sweep? Let's find out right now and send it over to our casters, Monty and Dor.
Hey, thanks, Malik. You are absolutely right, man. Right now, Philadelphia Fusion is 3-3 in Stage 2. They play against Shanghai and Dallas this week. A big win, especially 4-0s against both of these teams, would really cement them as having a good shot at making those stage playoffs.
Yeah, with a lot of their toughest opponents behind them, too, with the exception of possibly the LA Gladiators.
Right.
There's still an opportunity for them to carve their own path into the stage playoffs.
I mean, they're coming off of 3 losses right now, but those 3 losses were against Seoul, London, and New York. So
yes,
if you're going to lose against anybody, that's probably going to be it. But a chance to start winning again here. They've already got a 2-0 lead over Shanghai, and now we go to Hollywood, our hybrid map for the day.
Yeah, we saw in that social studies during halftime how effective the Dragons were after a break, after a halftime of coaching. They came back and they won Kings Row. Full held Seoul.
Yeah.
Of course, it was Seoul's B roster, but if you think about it, Seoul's B roster was playing basically exclusively dive, which is something that we know the Philadelphia Fusion overwhelmingly prefer, and they adapted well, saved a bunch of their supports, split up when the dive came in, and focused on the divers, and this is something that we know the Dragons are capable of and could theoretically do again.
Yeah, for sure. This is another one of those maps where you can run that triple tank that went so well for them in that particular match. I said it during the little video thing,
yep,
and I will say it again now. That was the best they've looked all season long. So it is a bit of a bummer seeing them kind of go back to the old style today without Dia. You know, it's just not working. But, you know, it's another map, another opportunity to switch things up, and Hollywood's one of those maps where you can do just that.
Looks like they are going to stay with Roshan on the Roadhog. So
okay,
Roadhog Diva, cut from the same cloth as the Dallas Fuel, and of course occasionally the New York Excelsior, trying to get picks here with this defense. And Philly, what they like to do is run dive with the Moira. So they basically put all of their DPS on the point and then mass heal with Boombox on a Moira.
Yep.
They're not going to change anything. Snillo slotting in for Carpe, but Philly's Fusion strategies not going to move an inch.
All right, time to get on the point for Philadelphia Fusion. See how aggressively they want to push this one. You can't sit back and take too much poke damage if you're playing this type of comp. Some healing coming in onto Boombox now. They had to bring it back up again. Now some healing onto Fraggy. They are getting poked a little bit here, but what do you expect from the Korea on the other side?
I mean, they're building up their support ults is what they're doing right now, and it's the time to go in.
That's right, Poco into the cafe. Neptuno and EQO down early though. They get 5 King, they get free field, so both supports eliminated for Shanghai Dragons. It's been a brawl, but it looks like Poco and the DPS of Philadelphia might be able to push this one back again. EQO is going to get back to the payload or back to the point in a hurry, and now Roshan on his own, not able to last. Only MG remaining, he's down. And Philadelphia Fusion, despite losing a few people on the way in, able to turn the team fight in their favor.
And you see they use most of the Moira healing charge to absorb the poke damage. When she starts to run low on the heals, that's when the dive comes in. Boombox then uses the fade to close the gap over to the cafe, recharge his healing by draining the life force out of the Shanghai Dragons. And the sustain able to be won by the Fusion by having both or one support up compared to the Shanghai Dragons having 0.
Yeah,
they were the targets in the cafe early.
When your team is all grouped up in a little place like the cafe and you've got the healing orb and the left click holding on them, you're going to do a ton of AoE healing. Boombox popping the coalescence for some more AoE healing and damage. Roshan roasted. There goes Shusha. And Philadelphia eliminating the tanks of Shanghai without any issue at all.
So Boombox actually going to return to spawn right now and switch over to the Zenyatta. So Coalesces, the rest of his team is fighting, but they're fighting with only 5 players.
Wow, and the dive from Fusion is real. Getting in there, separating Shanghai, picking them off one by one. And there's nothing Shanghai can seem to do against this right now. Fusion looking so dominant, they're basically spawn camping them on attack.
Yeah, they are, Doa, but that attack was really well coordinated by the Fusion because Boombox, he simply walked back into the spawn after the Coalescence had been used because Fusion had a player advantage even with 5 pushing them forward. Switches to Zenyatta and then rides the payload, but Undead.
Payload stopped there. Undead with a nice shot onto Boombox.
Does get resurrected though, and nobody's going to be attacking with EQO and the Infrasight.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and use the Transcendence for free field as Shanghai backs away. Might have wanted that one back. Poco down.
Get around the corner with the grappling hook. Fraggy's still trying to work with Snillo to take out some of these supports, but the rest of his teammates have fallen.
Man, they have been making Free Field's life miserable, but meanwhile, MG and Undead coming back and getting a couple of kills, turning this fight around. So they lost to Zenyatta, but the whole nice shot again from Undead to pick off Snillo on his way out.
And this has been the Dragon strategy for some time. It's all about pocketing Undead. He gets all of the resources, he gets damage boosted, he gets healed by the supports, and sometimes it works out when he's hitting his shots, but other times, Roshan, if those shots get missed, will die for free because he doesn't have the healing.
Fraggy uses shield to try to get him out there, but meanwhile, Fraggy gets a pulse bomb stuck to him. Goodbye, Boombox. Shanghai putting together a really strong hold here on point B.
Chase still going down. MG trying to get over to EQO. They are going to push him into the corner.
They've just got enough bodies to throw at him that EQO, yeah, not able to get out of that one.
Resetting.
Things looking good for Shanghai at the moment.
And reset for the Philadelphia Fusion. Shanghai only with the Primal Rage now.
It was a pretty fast point A take, so Philadelphia does have a lot of time coming into point B, but a lot of that's been used up already.
Yeah, nice approach. So you can see Fraggy walking backward and deploying his shield so that nobody's going to get hit by a headshot by the Widowmaker.
That's a hope anyway. Whoa, Freefield finds Snillo with the headshot. Snillo trying to get tricky, but Freefield ready for him. And now again, EQO actually with 2. 5 King and MG. Maybe Philadelphia can turn this into a bit of a fight here. Valkyrie used by Neptuno to try to keep his team up. Poco very low, but now Fraggy with that Primal Rage, forcing everybody back. Undead retreating here. They get free feel again, so finally Philadelphia Fusion getting some traction here on attack, and they didn't need to use too many ults to do it, just the Valkyrie and the Primal Rage.
Yeah, Undead the last to fall, but nobody else there to protect the cart for him, so even though it did roll back quite a considerable distance.
Oh, Roshan not even making it down after the leap, and Freefield comes in with the Transcendence.
Oh, no.
Oh, that doesn't help anybody, man. Well, it helps Fusion, I guess, but
it definitely does because they pick him off on the way out too, so not only is the Trance used, but he is staggered as well.
That is so rough, man. 5 King trying to escape, and Snillo hunts him down. They've got Fraggy there too on the Winston, and things falling apart abruptly for Shanghai.
Oh man, the punishment is brutal. They lose the Mercy. They have to use the self-destruct not to get staggered further. Meanwhile, Boombox is just on payload duty right now. And finally the Fusion.
Oh, EQO. Hey, he's gonna take that sniper duel later, but had to take out Freefield first. The Rez comes in, and I'm not gonna get baited by that one. Meanwhile, the tanks dive in onto the rest of his team. EQO being careful.
So
Still
problematic
for those
though,
shots, yeah.
for the Dragons that he's holding this angle because they can't stop the cart.
Yeah, that's right. Has to get out as the jump comes in. Roshan drops again. Now 5 King, or rather MG, trying to make life hard for EQO, but it's not going to matter. Snillo comes in with the kill. Shusha gets Roshan as well. So the final stretch for Philadelphia Fusion trying to finish this attack run, and EQO still with so much pressure on the supports. Oh, free feel solo. He's going to take MG instead. There's a couple. Man, EQO is so scary. Philadelphia nearly has this one, less than 2 meters remaining. Once Roshan falls, that might be enough. It is. And Philadelphia Fusion with a pretty quick attack run here.
Yeah, looking good here on Hollywood. Temporarily stopped in the Westworld phase thanks to some nice sniping by Undead, but Shanghai Dragons living and dying by Undead once again.
Yep.
And we'll see if they will live or die on this map. Minute 31 for Philly in the time bank. Shanghai now forced to finish the entire map.
Well, I mean, the thing is now, Shanghai in a position where if they lose this map, they lose the series. They need to keep their hopes alive with a win here on Hollywood. Have not been able to score a point yet in this match, as you can see.
Taking a look at the stats, Undead accounting for 27% of his team's damage. Obviously helped out pretty considerably by the Mercy power boost. Snell, though, in terms of his debut, 21 eliminations, 8 final blows, and 3 deaths on that map.
Not bad. Yeah, Snell has come to play today. No doubt about that. I mean, we knew the guy was good. But it's always different when you're on the big stage for the first time, and I mean, Snillo certainly has some stage experience. It's not a totally new area for him.
Well, relatively new. Oh,
somebody got mad at their Hearthstone game.
No, they just dropped it on the floor, you know.
Oh, did they? Okay. Hey,
It's
it didn't
okay,
break.
they're-
It's
they're
pretty
still,
durable.
still playing on it, no problem.
That's right.
That's why you get a case for your tablet.
Like, you know, whenever I see that screen, I expect Dr. Boom to be on there. Usually with a smashed Hearthstone screen. That's what it was.
Fortunately, he's been gone for a while now.
Still alive and well and wild.
He's still tormenting Doa somewhere.
There you go. Philadelphia on the defense, Shanghai Dragons trying desperately to get some momentum going in this 4-map series. They have started their attack here on Hollywood, and they are going for the triple tank this time around.
Running in to Fraggy, EQO, and Poco on the tanks at the same time. Direct approach through security by Shanghai. They're going to try and rush the point.
Yep. That's the plan. Philadelphia falling down against Nillo. Fraggy with the charge onto Undead, though. No more DPS for Shanghai. Just the tanks and the supports as they loop around to the cafe.
Yeah, both DPS eliminated right now. And Shanghai going to take the high ground, but it's a lot less valuable when they don't have the Junkrat.
Yeah, it hurts quite a bit more, and Snillo should be able to get back to the fight in a hurry.
Zed making his way. He's going to try and get back in. There's a big, great shatter.
How did he get behind us? Fraggy. Hashtag just Fraggy things. Sneaks up behind you in the cafe. Earth shatters 3 or 4 people. Gets the team fight win. That's our Fraggy.
Gets them on the high ground too. EQO finds Undead mid-air as he tries to escape back to his spot with the concussion mine. They're chasing them all the way back towards the theater.
Fraggy already 70% towards another Earth Shatter as well. As they fall back, Shanghai attacking again. There's a hook on the EQO. Got to keep some healing in there. Coalescence used by both sides. Fox trying to roast Refield, trying to keep Fraggy alive. He's getting a bit low. They got to do it. There's a healing orb. And now that AoE from healing, or AoE healing from Moira, really showing the strength. Poco, though, showing the strength of the self-destruct. Finds a couple with that. And now Snillo with the cleanup. Looks like Shanghai's going to get pushed back again.
And they keep on bullying it. Freefield hooked, Freefield destroyed. And another stagger in favor of the Philadelphia Fusion.
I see. Oh, really?
Oh, really? I guess that's the kind of game it's going to be today, Noah.
All right, you know, a little bit of a little bit of fine art and tactical crouching. I'm a cultured man. I can appreciate that. Here we go again. Snillo coming in with the pulse bomb. Bit of damage done with that one. Now the sound barrier to keep Philadelphia alive, and EQO whole hogging Shanghai apart from each other, denying that charge. Now gotta watch out for the Reaper, though. He's right there. EQO misses the hook, and now you gotta run. Yep, no breather. You've got a Reaper on you. Shanghai may have found the fight they were looking for finally.
I mean, it's 5-on-5 on the point still, Doa, so Fraggy's gonna hammer away, and he's gonna hit the massive shatter.
The games are real. And Fraggy with another big Earth Shatter, but they didn't get the kills to follow it up. And Shanghai still looking pretty decent in this fight. Pulse Bomb, though, onto Roshan, and they lost Undead just as I said that. Now the D-Mech onto Shusha. And just when things are turning around, they've got 2 ticks, but can they complete it? They're so
Kill
close.
the Diva.
They have not gotten a point yet, but they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it. Even though the Moira was there to heal them after the shatter, another stagger kill here from MG hiding in the gift shop outside of the main choke.
Gives a whole new meaning to the phrase exit through the gift shop.
Yeah.
Exiting into
exiting
netherworld.
this mortal coil.
That's right.
Through the gift shop.
Well, Philadelphia, a couple else to use, but Shanghai
5
Dragon
ults.
coming in with 5. That's right. EQO over on that McCree now. And coalescence time. Undead trying to take a sneaky perspective. Oh, he can take some shots, so Snillo down. Might have blown himself up there. Self-destruct. Undead somehow lives through it. He's still got that Death Blossom, and Philadelphia scrambling to hold this point right now. Undead comes in, oh, a flashbang! And that'll help them finish him off. Frankie gets 5 king as well, but Shanghai with the numbers advantage. I don't know if Poco and Boombox can handle it. Snill's still there, and the point is taken by Shanghai. They only needed that 1 tick, and they'll get the payload moving.
They do, but very little time. 2.5 minutes added to their clock to get it all the way through Westworld. Immediate swaps from the side of the Philadelphia Fusion. It will be the Zenyatta, it will be the Widowmaker, and it will be the Winston.
Yeah, you gotta make those stage 2 changes there.
Yeah, Undead gonna have a lot more trouble on this Reaper now.
You think so? MG, meanwhile, fighting it out on the high ground here. Oh, he popped the whole hog too. He pressed Q and then immediately died. That ult is gone. Self-destruct from Chusha. He's trying to stay alive here. Gets back into his mech in time, and Undead still sitting on that Death Blossom. He's been holding it for a long time now.
He's trying to find any angle he can, though. I guess he's just going to try and play the payload, but has to Wraith form, and he's just never going to get into a position against this composition on Hollywood. He would have to be so fortunate.
I think he may want to swap now.
Yeah, he has to swap now. He can't stay on this. There you go.
Yep.
You want to use that Death Blossom, but you're realistically never going to be in a position where it's an efficient use of your time.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? Because it was meant to be used on point A. Ooh, nice shot. You didn't need it on point A, and you're not going to be able to use it on point B. So get on that Widowmaker, get killed by EQO, but then come back and get more done.
Yeah, you already accomplished your mission using that Reaper, but the aggressive defense continues from Philly.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and use the sound barrier to make sure that they win this attack. And again, Shanghai held back in their spawn right now as there is only 45 seconds left on their attack.
And they still have the Transcendence too. Philadelphia wants to hammer Hollywood home right here before Shanghai can even get to the payload.
Now Snillo's smart to back off. You don't want to get sniped in this situation. Your team is nearly held on point B.
30 seconds remaining.
Nearly won this map. You don't want to get picked.
Cutting off an approach right now, goes back to the payload, knows where MG is.
Yep.
Not gonna let him through that doorway.
That's right. Taking the duel. And there's a pump. He got the stick. Oh, but Undead taken out afterwards. The sound barrier kept him alive for the moment, but Snillo there to finish him. And now Free feeling a little bit of trouble, taking damage. Frankie's got the healing from the Transcendence Boombox right there. And now onto the payload go the rest of Fusion, trying to win this map and this series. And it looks like with that fight, they have done it. Just 5 king and Chusha on that point right now. They might be able to hold it until a few respawns get there, but Philadelphia, no, they're in the doorway.
Free feel. Oh, he's gonna get there.
I'm here. Oh, everyone's dead. I guess that's the end of the map. Philadelphia Fusion will take Hollywood, and that's a 3-0 for them in the series.
Still a chance, though, to increase their lead. They do need every map to look at the stage playoffs after 3 tough back-to-back-to-back losses. They're not out of it yet. Obviously, a slew of easier opponents on their slate for the rest of stage 2.
Right. Pretty vital that they take every single map they can to put themselves in the best spot to challenge for that playoff spot next week. And so far, so good for Philadelphia. Snillo putting on a show. When we come back, the final map. Don't go anywhere, guys. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Zoe, and today we got to see a new face for the Philadelphia Fusion on this very stage. So, of course, during halftime, I went into the Fusion's dugout and talked to their coach about what Snillo is bringing to the table. The coach Jan said, apart from his beautiful smile, he's also bringing a new approach to the Tracer play. He's more sneaky, more methodical than what we are used to from Carpe. And today is all about giving him some playtime. Now, I had to ask the coach, why do you decide to pick up a player who's only available for the end of stage 2? And he said, well, you know, I actually got to work with him before joining Overwatch League, and something really stuck out. It was the fact that Snillo is a player who takes feedback, learns something, applies it immediately, and then it sticks. He doesn't just forget about it, and that's a very valuable asset in a player, and that makes him a great teammate, a great pickup for the Fusion, and, you know, that boy is able to carry his own weight most of the times. Now, let's see what he brings to the table again in map number 4, and for all the action, we're heading over to our favorite and only Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Zoe. And yeah, it's been fun to see Snillo today. He does bring that kind of sneakier Tracer play that we haven't seen as much from Carpe. Carpe just kind of likes to get in your face and kill you. Snillo likes to make sure you don't see it coming.
Well, I like the fact that coaches like coachable players. It's definitely
What do you know?
true.
Is that a
you
show?
are an aspiring Overwatch League professional player. Try and be coachable. Does help you get on an Overwatch League team. Unless you're so good that you don't have to listen to the coaches, right? Got to be the star player.
I have no comments there, Chris. So I have nothing to add to that at all. Just saying, you see a lot of well-coached teams come out of a certain part of the world.
Yeah, you do.
What do you know?
But you know what?
Yeah.
If you're larger than life and you can hard carry, you don't have to be coached.
Hey, there you go.
Put that out there too.
There's been a few instances of that. Me, when we all play as casters, that's one of them.
Yeah.
I'm such
I agree, you are uncoachable.
You got me there. I give up. Let's go to Route 66. Ride. That's right. I felt that whip crack.
It was just the sound of my tongue lashing you.
It sounded like this. Ride.
Well, Route 66. I'm curious about this because we've seen a lot of the same Philadelphia Fusion strategies, except with Snillo on the heroes instead of Carpe, which may mean that we get to see him play some McCree on attack. Would be something different as he makes his debut here. Not just the Tracer and the Junkrat we've seen so far.
Yep. So Shanghai put together a pretty solid hold for a little while on point B. On Hollywood eventually got broken through, but there was a glimmer of hope there for a moment. Maybe another opportunity here to do something similar on the defense.
They're going to run the Tracer again, so I really had hoped we would see more of the Roadhog from MG. He was a standout player on it, and they ran a pick composition with triple tank Roadhog with the McCree. Last time they played Route 66.
That's right.
This will be the last time we see the Dragons playing Route 66 in this stage.
And, as our graphic said there, it's been rough for them. They have not yet won on this map.
Yes, they're 0-4. This is their last chance to win Route 66 in stage 2.
Here we go. Philadelphia Fusion on the attack. And they will go for a bit of dive themselves. Widowmaker and the Tracer as well. Neptuno, of course, going to be powering up EQO.
I guess they are entirely unconcerned about a Sombra defense from Shanghai, which we would normally see counteracted by a McCree. Instead, they're going for the long range poke from the Widowmaker and is trying to punish them. And Roshan caught out in the open sight lines. They're not playing around the Widowmaker. And that means Roshan has to have the revive early.
Hey, Vibe King was there with the res at least, so they brought him back, but MG falls almost immediately. Fox getting the headshot there. Meanwhile, EQO has to duck out for just a second. Philadelphia Fusion slowed, but not too stopped yet, but now the dive comes in. Roshan going in. Snillo building up that pulse bomb. He's so close right now. Has to recall. If he can get it, he's got...
all about the support
Vibe King. Fraggy comes in. And there's a nice pulse bomb onto Roshan. Looks like Philadelphia is going to clean up this one.
Snillo and Fraggy combining their might to focus out the support players. You can see the game plan crystal clear from the Fusion. Ignore everybody else. Go after 5King and Free Feel.
Yep, true enough. That's point A for Philadelphia Fusion. I feel like in our first match of the day, Gamsu and Striker put on a clinic of what good Winston Tracer diving looked like. And Frankie and Snillo can certainly give us after-school lessons, I guess. I don't know.
Is that what we call it now?
Diving cramp school. EQO rezzed after getting picked off there. Boombox in a lot of trouble. He's going to trance to try to stay alive. Felt the pressure. Stays with his team. Oh, but they lose Frankie anyway. Snillo does manage to demech MG. And now Roshan going in.
May have been a bit too much of an all-in for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Yeah, a bit. I think
throwing everything at it because the cart has to go through the doorway, so you weren't able to get value on the payload by using both of your support ultimates.
Now there's the stick from Snillo. A lot of damage onto Shusha. On that Diva. A lot of low health members for Shanghai. Frankie, though, the first one who falls. Undead finished off. And there's Poco with the D-Mech onto Shusha. Oh, he can't stop the res. Snillo tried to. Instead of having to recall and get out of that. Meanwhile, the rest of his team, though, winning the fight for the Philadelphia Fusion.
Oh, now they're all pushed back. Payload. Poco and Boombox dutifully sitting atop the cart. And now here comes the hard part for the defending team, trying to make it through the 3 narrow doorways for a last-second defense. It'll be very tricky on Route 66, even if you have the proximity advantage.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see Philadelphia just trying to be a human shield, blocking those doorways. MG does get out on that Tracer, though. Boombox has to back away. Don't want to be too close to the enemy team, of course. They're going to go ahead and use the Transcendence, but Snillo gets undead anyway. Now Fraggy brought back up to health by Boombox and his own Transcendence here. They kill off Free Feel. Oh, MG gets a Pulse Bomb onto Snillo, actually, in the Tracer v Tracer.
End up killing each other, however, the resurrection is there. Shusha is going to be pushed away, but manages to read back barely.
And 5King can't keep people up with that Valkyrie, and that's going to be point B, taken by Philadelphia. So they come into point C with a good amount of time to the clock.
A huge amount of time, over 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's going to help them compensate for the fact that they only have Fraggy's ultimate right now. They could use a few more, because point C can be really challenging to push through.
Yeah, both of our players, EQO and Undead, still on, going to be trying to do the Widowmaker duels here through the warehouse phase.
Right. Ooh,
and that's going to be the first fight one. Oh, does get the res again. It's been dicey for 5King, but he manages to get the resurrections time and time again.
That's right, EQO with a shot there that wasn't able to hit. That would have been so big to take out 5King. They do get Roshan, though. That's a nice consolation prize as EQ backs off with a bit of healing. Coming in. Now the Widow duel. Ooh, takes a big shot. Got to be really careful here. Shut down. Nice shot from EQO. Headshot undead wins that one, and Shanghai back into spawn again. Now EQO has him right where he wants him. That narrow corridor, Fraggy just batting people around with that primal rage. Poco adding some damage as well, and meanwhile, the payload moving forward, undead, stomped flat. 5Kings brings Roshan back, though. But
only temporarily. Free Field gets onto the payload with the Transcendence to keep Shanghai alive on Route 66.
Shusha gets a bit of healing, but not enough. And Boombox with the trance, again, just trying to keep his team alive, and they will finish at 2:51 on the clock. That is a blazing fast Route 66.
That is incredibly quick for the Philadelphia Fusion. That gives them so much time to work with if it goes into the time bank mode. About all you could ask for on this rather long map, and virtually nothing stopping the Philadelphia Fusion today.
Yep. Looking pretty good for Philadelphia. Snillo having a ton of fun in his debut. Oh no, Wildling has gotten below the wall. It's just Fraggy. We're okay.
We're okay. We don't have to worry about legions of the undead just yet.
I was worried there for a second. He's actually a really nice guy.
Hey, the Wildlings are pretty nice.
They turned out okay, I suppose.
They did turn out all right.
I wasn't so sure at
They've
first.
been really helpful, actually, haven't they?
They have. In the end, yeah. Well, let's listen in on the Philly comms for a little bit. See what they've been talking about.
Okay, now with the I'm shooting Deva, I'm shooting Deva low.
Monkey still, monkey, double. Da raising. It's okay.
Monkey.
That's what happens when the monkey dives at you and you need to focus him down.
That's right. Happens a lot in Overwatch these days. Well,
I mean, there's really no way Roshan could even get out of that situation, though. The problem was, he used his jump to...
No, I won't. Saying for at least one more round.
He used his jump to enter that fight, but then it was a shooting gallery for the Widowmaker, as it was easy for Poco to respond with a rocket boost as he's tried to slowly waddle away up the hill. It's not enough backup for Roshan on a lot of these engages.
All right. Shanghai Dragons. A chance to tie things up here on Route 66. They need to finish the attack round, though, and that's not going to be easy.
So quick switches. They realize there is not a Sombra on the defense, and fortunately, we're not going to see any kind of McCree play here from the Philadelphia Fusion. EQO will take a win early against MG, who was trying to make it inside of Big Earls.
That is not an easy target to hit. Oh, Undead. Down via EQO again. 5King comes in with the res. Shusha trying to protect people. He's going to go back to base for a little bit of healing here.
This spawn camping is just brutal for Philly, and there has not been a good response from the Shanghai Dragons.
Not yet.
This is where you can actually punish them. If you go back in and you switch to the Roadhog and they're pressing up on your base, you can hook them and kill them and take a proximity spawn advantage. So I think MG, there's an opportunity for him to make some plays here if the Philadelphia Fusion continue to play overly aggressive.
EQO watching carefully for the Widowmaker on the other side. Feels the dive come in. He backs away. Nice shot onto Roshan again.
I mean, 5King is in Valkyrie, and he is nowhere close to Roshan. They are so afraid of EQO right now that they're not getting in within these sight lines. And Roshan's been dying first a lot, but wow.
There it is. There it is.
A big pulse bomb.
I mean, Undead can't take on EQO in the sniper duel, it seems like, and Snilla just says, hey, you know what would make you feel worse? If I kill 2 people on your team with a pulse bomb.
Yeah, and the problem with the Shanghai Dragons stuff, finally the Roadhog coming out. I think this is a very good call right now for the Shanghai Dragons. I think that you can't expect Roshan to stay alive when you are pocketing Undead so heavily. When the Mercy stays on the Widowmaker the entire time, Roshan has 2 choices. He can either not walk up and never engage, or he will die when he tries.
Yeah, meanwhile, free in that tunnel alone, down at the bottom. Did not survive. Another Widow duel coming in. Shusha rather, trying to block some of that damage.
Yeah, Fraggy falling though, so there is an opening. Nope, there's not an opening anymore. Not with EQO. Getting the kill onto Undead and the demon.
Oh, Snillo in his hubris. Went a little bit too far forward. Shusha takes him down. And now you gotta wait a little bit. Now you gotta be careful. Now Neptuno just kills Roshan. Okay. But that's where we're at.
Neptuno was one of our top fragging Mercies in Stage 1. Nice to see that his ways haven't changed.
This is probably the harshest spawn camp I've seen in Overwatch League so far.
This match on the whole has not been a good look for the Shanghai Dragons. A lot of their old problems, which it looked like they had improved upon in their match versus Seoul last week, are coming back to haunt them.
All right, Snillo, wow, Fraggy comes in with the D-Mech and the kill onto Shusha. Snillo brought back up by Neptuno. Lucky for him, he was there in range with the res. Man.
He tried to push Undead back and then ended up getting hooked right as he fell out of the Primal Rage and killed.
Yeah. All right, EQO trying to survive against the Primal Raging Roshan. 5King down. Meanwhile, throughout all of that, the payload finally getting a little bit of progress here. But we're down to 20 seconds remaining. Philadelphia Fusion has just stopped Shanghai cold. Maybe they have a chance to take point A here, but MG drops, and that is big. Neptuno caught, though, by the self-destruct, but EQO is not done quite yet. 28 health, but it's enough to get kills, and now the rest of Philadelphia Fusion eliminating Shanghai Dragons, and that is going to be about that. Philadelphia Fusion with the biggest spawn camp hold I've seen since like Envious versus Mode 7 back in like some online tournament 2 years ago.
That was a long time ago. EQO finishes the map 22 limbs, 12 final blows, 1 death. There was never pressure because they were controlling the sightlines around the cart, and every time Roshan tried to go in, he did not have any healing or any backup whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's impossible. It's actually impossible for them to put pressure on the payload unless Undead wins the duel against EQO, and he couldn't do that. And so there was never an opportunity for the tank line to eliminate the Widowmaker from the game. EQO made it look easy.
That's right. Well, on that note, guys, let's send it over to the desk to see what they've got to say about those 4 maps.
Thank you, Monty Doa. All 4 games now done, and Philadelphia improves 4 more maps towards their record here in Stage 2. Let's talk about how they got it done today. We knew they were playing with the new guy, Snillo, in the lineup, but it was EQO who had me watching all series long.
Yeah, he played a phenomenal game on Hollywood, and then coming into Route 66 as well. It's nice to see that he's got such a range of heroes that he can play. When they played Route 66 against New York last week, he was playing the Tracer, a role that we hadn't seen from him, and they made that work incredibly well. Now we're seeing him on the Widowmaker. He can basically play everything, it seems.
It's kind of crazy when you think about some of the young stars. Dreamcasper comes to mind.
Yep.
EQO right there with Hydration. It's just guys that were off my radar in the Overwatch League making such an impact. The rest of the Philadelphia Fusion, they're playing well. Yes, the Shanghai Dragons not their toughest challenger so far in Stage 2. But when you were looking at the other 5 on this squad, who impressed you from the Fusion, Crumbs?
Well, for me, it was Fraggy, but I actually want to go back on your point where you're looking at these top players in the league that are so incredibly flexible, and you wonder, why is it that they can be playing such a wide variety of heroes at the top level? Well, it's the game sense. It's your ability to actually understand positioning, cooldowns, and how team compositions interact that allow you to play so many different heroes. Sure, things might be changing, but in the end, you're playing the position, you're playing the cooldowns relatively in the same way. So these guys, the ones that are flexible, really should highlight how much game knowledge they have.
Awesome stuff from Philadelphia across the board. They're going to walk away with the 4-0 tonight. But before we wrap up this game, we got to talk about our player of the match. This one, of course, is going to be tough for us to decide because we've been looking at the DPS all day, but when it comes time for the player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP, we went away from EQO. It's no Snillo. Who'd you give it to, boys?
It was Fraggy. I mean, look at this guy. This guy hit a shatter again before the map unlocks. A little unlucky that he got moved away, but other than that, he was hitting so many fat shatters on the Reinhardt, and it was no match.
Yeah, he had an unbelievable one on Hollywood as well, where he just sits around the back and gets everybody. He had another one on the point where he caught 3 or 4 players, and the Moira was desperately trying to heal him up. Freefield was just pumping the healing in as much as he could, but at the end of the day, if 4 of your players are on the floor taking a nap, not much going to go on.
He showed that Reinhardt across most or majority of his games here. How often do you see him using it in the future? Was this just a one-time treat here against the Dragons?
No, I don't think so. I think when you have a guy that's so good at Reinhardt and can play it and is really comfortable on it, you whip it out on stuff like Hollywood or Control Center of Lijiang, whenever you can run the tank map.
I will say, we look at the tank here from Philly, but I want to just put a little thing on Roshan out there. Can Shanghai just try playing with him and following him in the dive? Because it's always about helping Undead out, but we've never seen Roshan get the resources. What if Roshan's doing the right thing? Should try following him, right? Like, you know, you have a chance here. These games you were still using to practice. Throw him a bone, man.
Maybe
Let's see what
he's
he's
get
got.
player of the match sponsored by Omen by HP. But today, it's all about Fraggy. You like that plug? All right, guys, let's wrap up the night by catching you up with where we're at right now in Stage 2. Remember, it's 40 matches per team for the whole regular season. But in your just 10-match set here in Stage 2 already, it's New York and Seoul at the top of the list. Of course, New York getting that big win earlier today. Some other squads to look out for. Gladiators in the Valiant in your top 5. The overall standings, Dragons at the bottom, New York at the top, and a whole lot of squads here trying to make some room at the top. Who's got the best chance of moving forward? Because Philadelphia Fusion now moving up to 10-7.
It's the Gladiators. This team, I mean, you take down the London Spitfire, one of the top 3 squads. You've already punched your ticket to at least go to the battles with New York and Seoul. So it's these guys.
All right, it's the Gladiators. And speaking of the Gladiators, we get a chance to see them again tomorrow, 8 p.m. against the Outlaws. I know that's the match of the day for me. Guys, it's going to be a great one, and this is just day one of week 4. We got 3 more days to go. Lots more action coming to you live from the Blizzard Arena this week. We want to thank everyone for tuning in online tonight. Everyone here in the venue, if you're still in the Blizzard Arena, we got great news coming up next. Seoul Dynasty going to be signing some autographs. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.